Hey guys, MrPopZit here, Greg Lynch Derm PA. It's 2025. MPZ Dermatology is in full effect in Corona, California. Give us a call, 951-270-4494. We're accepting most insurances now. Give us a call and we'll tell you if we accept it and we'll get you seen. Come and see us. Thanks for popping by. Okay guys, MrPopZit here. We can see we have a common thing that we see, especially on the neck with men. Sometimes ingrown hairs will turn into quite a large abscess. You can have loculations, which are like little pockets of pus in there, but you can see from a distance how swollen that is. These can get really painful and actually turn into even a cellulitis if it keeps spreading. Anything around the throat, we don't want to impinge, you know, when he's breathing in there on the esophagus at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to numb this area. I can feel it feels like a fluid pocket right there. We're going to make a little cut with an 11 blade. We'll flush a little bit out with saline and kind of use a blunt object to see if we can break up loculations. And then we'll give him an anti-inflammatory injection and an antibiotic, and this should come down within a week or even less sometimes. So thanks to him. He found us on YouTube. Thanks to him for sharing so we can kind of learn more about how these work and how we can make them better. So we'll be back in just a sec. Okay, guys, we have here cleaned up. We're just doing a little numbing right in the center. It's going to sting a little. Where we're going to do our small 11 blade. And this has a lot of them do start with like a small pimple, ingrown hair. It actually wasn't all that big. Sometimes we try to squeeze them or get it out, and if we don't get it all or hit it wrong, we get a big inflammatory response. All of our inflammatory cells get drawn to the area, and then we get something like this, which is a large abscess. Let me have Natalie turn the music off as well. And even if you can't hear it that well, you know, it still matters if people can figure it out. Okay. Let's look at nice and numb. And we usually do not put stitches in to close where we do a little poke because it'll fill right back up with fluid. We want it to be able to drain for 2 or 3 days as it heals. That's pretty good there. Okay, we have them nice and numb here. We're going to do a little poke right in the middle. If you have any pain, let me know, okay? Mm-hmm. There, I felt a little pocket. Just some fluid there in the beginning. Not a ton of pus, because I know you did drain it before. It's more like serous fluid, kind of blood. But I did feel going into a pocket there. So let me, 1 second, I'm going to get going here a little. If it's hurting, you let me know, because I am poking around a little bit. It's a very deep pocket. Feel that click? That is what's called a loculation. So that's like a little membrane kind of into other pockets here. That goes in a full inch, inch and a half. Any pain down there or not bad? No. Not bad, good. Goes over that way as well. We do have a little bit of scar tissue I can feel in there. I can put a little deeper lido if that's hurting. I'm just breaking up these little membranes.
Fine.
Good. Actually feel quite a bit in there. It's kind of a little bit of connective tissue. Now, most of this, when I felt it, is induration, very firm, very hard tissue. That's all of his inflammatory cells getting drawn to that area. And what they do is they release inflammatory markers that harden up the skin, and it makes it very firm, and that makes it harder if there is a bacterial infection or something that gets in there for it to easily travel in the skin. So it is an inflammatory response for protection a lot of times. You can feel right under there is where he kind of poked originally. It does go all the way up there. You did say it was bigger in the last week or so. It is going down, which is good. I just wanted to get into that pocket and get some of that fluid. You okay there? Good. And it goes all the way to there, so that's good. Over an inch. Sometimes I'll get a curled up hair that comes out. Sometimes we don't. It's like a little plug, almost like a little follicle there you can see. See those at the base of hair shafts sometimes. It's very strong. Doing great. A little bit of dissolved hair there, that dark thing that came out. That makes sense. 3 to 4 weeks in, we'll kind of get almost what looks like ink, and it can be a hair that's breaking down from the cells that are there. Oh, felt like an earthquake, huh? Mm-hmm. There we go. So you can see that there, a little bit of clot. It almost looks like ink. That can be hair breaking down. Good. Actually feeling quite a bit in there. Gosh, there's a lot of scar tissue. Very good. Okay. So that's kind of some scar tissue. I broke up some of the membranes were in there. Now I'm going to do some flushing into that pocket. I'm going to put some gauze right over. Just insert here. It's going to come out as pink. Does that feel kind of cold and weird? Yeah.
I can't feel nothing.
Good, good. After a flush, I will go back in and see if it loosened up anything generally. To see. There's something right there. Look at that. So this is just kind of like, what is at the base of a hair shaft a lot? That is not regular fat tissue. That's really hard right there. Kind of firm, globule. Sometimes this is almost like the beginning of a cyst that can come up too. That could have been focused around where that inflammation was. I don't go in blindly and start cutting. This blunt is usually more than enough. There we go. There's another little area too. Very good. So these are well encapsulated, almost like a hard kind of sheath there. And these will be sometimes at the bottom of the hair shaft that can get inflamed and kind of blow up. Part of the membranes that are there as well. There we go. There's one more. right there. Looks like there might be little hairs in that one too. It's dark in the middle. So that's good to get out. It's kind of what was in that pocket. There we go. Kind of a big clot potentially there too. So you can see how dark those are. Very interesting. Just part of the inflammation that's in there in that pocket. I don't think that that's cyst lining at all. I don't see cyst wall. Nice, I think that's all we're gonna get. I'm not feeling much in there now, kind of like we spooned it out there. You can see the redness has gone down a lot. I'm gonna do one more flush and then we'll do some anti-inflammatory injection. It's like half or about 60% less swollen than it was in the beginning. And getting these things out here is what can kind of be conglomerated in there in a ball, and little hairs wrapped up in there sometimes, connective tissue. Not fat tissue though. It's interesting. Usually.
Yeah, I'm close.
Do another flush here. Right in, it comes right out into the gauze. That's okay. One more reach in there, see if there's any. Times I have got a hair like this deep into it, believe it or not. And he's nice there. There we go. This is what I talk about. Right there. That's a hair. A thick hair. Very hard. You feel that click, you can hear it. So that was likely this big, dark, thick hair that was in there, and you can kind of see there was like, it was encapsulated with this stuff. So these will be around the hairs a lot of times, and that was deep in there. We kind of brought that out. It almost felt like a splinter. It was so hard. Just a little bit more right there. Sheath around it. Good. And that's what happens when hairs start breaking down. You'll kind of see the sheath that was around that, but then the hair just is coming into bits there. So much inflammation in there, huh? There you go. Big clot. There we go, man. Perfect. He is either very tough or very numb. Good. So I think this was the kind of juxta of our problem there. This large piece right here is kind of some clot, some inflammation, probably some hairs in there too. But that was the big thing that I kept feeling, and I felt it break loose after those two kind of flushes with saline. That's like a little scar tissue. If he's not feeling that, we're good. Yep, that's okay. It was, that pocket was right under that. Very good. That's interesting. You can see this is what was in there. Okay, one more flush. Anything knock loose from that last bit? Perfect. Do you see? Yeah. Right there, something trying to come out. Do you see something? There we go. So that was kind of possible breaking down of a hair of the same sheath. Any pinch, just let me know. Look at that hair right there too. A lot of people will ask, is that one hair started this, but you can see all these follicles that are involved. Nice, it's getting this kind of loose clot and connective tissue out for him. One thing that's nice, even though this looked really inflamed, it was actually more inflamed than the week or two before. So once that starts settling down, the pain actually isn't quite as bad either. So that's why it's kind of letting us get away with a lot here. Nice, that pocket is empty. Very good. Got quite a bit out. Okay, I'll do that injection and we'll put on a little pressure bandage on one of the big band-aids and then some gauze rolled up underneath it. But let me do that injection first. Okay, you can see this is down, gosh, probably 70% now. I am gonna do into where it's inflamed here, right into that thick part. Some's gonna come out, but some's gonna be retained as well, and on the top. A lot of inflammation there. Very good. Okay, so we're gonna put that on. This is gonna close up. It'll be something you barely see. In a couple months, it'll be a tiny little scar. And then the antibiotic's gonna help here too, just from all these others. It can get really inflamed. You'll get other ingrown hairs, inflammation, bacteria can start there. This likely was not bacteria-based. We just do the antibiotic for the inflammatory component and just in case there was some bacteria. That looks nice and clear. We got quite a bit out. So you can come up here. Okay, guys, he found me online, and this is why I do this channel. So many times people would go into an urgent care maybe or the ER. They might just do an injection, give an antibiotic, but you saw how much we got out of there. If you take the time, just take 15 minutes, numb them up, and you can get in there. If they're adequately numb or it's a ripened area like his was, it shouldn't be quite as painful. You can really get in there and get some ingrown hairs and get a lot of the inflammation and what's conglomerated from the inflammation. Get that out so his body doesn't have to reabsorb that and break it down over the next month or two. It's going to close that pocket way faster so the body doesn't have to break it down. Put in a nice anti-inflammatory, a good antibiotic, and we'll do a quick follow-up in a week and you'll see the huge difference. It'll be pretty much gone by that time. Or it should be. Let's find out. Thanks for popping by. All right, guys, MrPopZit here. This is the 1 week follow-up on the large neck abscess. And he's about 80% better. The induration that was all the way out here is now just a little bit right around the cut. The redness is going down. It's softening up really nice. And I don't see much leakage or anything like that. He just said, well, be careful there. He just has to basically, you know, let this dry up. He's going to get a scab there and then everything will go down. It'll take another week or two on one that big. So we're going to watch it and then we'll have him back in about 2 to 3 weeks to see that 3 or 4 week follow-up and then he should be good. But thanks to him for sharing. That was an interesting video with a lot of stuff we got out of there. So we'll talk to him soon.